Welcome to my channel. This is Kristy from Sewbits. Sorry about the beginning, I didn't realise it was starting. And I wanted to show you the beginnings of what's going on with Sally from Dotty Bee Vintage. Now she is starting up a slow stitch book or like a little program, and what's happening is over on her channel, she's got a Facebook group. Her channel is Dotty Bee on YouTube, and it's what is slow stitch is the hashtag. She has an Instagram page called Dotty Bee Vintage, and this is what she's doing over the next few weeks or so, maybe months, I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, welcome. So what I have done here is, if you want to go along and work along with Sally and everybody else, you just got to go over to the Facebook group and follow the prompt and join her Facebook page. Is Dotty Bee Slow Stitching. I'll just make sure that's correct. I'd hate to give you the wrong. Dotty Bee's Slow Stitching, I beg your pardon, with the S for bees. I'll write that down myself. Sometimes it gets a bit confusing. All right, so this is my little book that I have made, and the instructions are on her Facebook group and on her YouTube, which she's just put up just recently. So this is my book, and I've added a little bit of extra for the cover of my little needle book. As you can see, I've got some wadding, some quilting, I beg your pardon, and this was double layered, so I just cut it in half, and then I stitched in a doily, and then I made my pages. So your pages are 11 by 5 inches, and so I made mine just slightly a little bit bigger. I don't even know if anybody's watching it. No, that's fine. I might just stand up for a bit. And so these are my pages, and I've decided to add a little bit of extra in the middle, just to something different. So that's the good side of the doily, and then obviously there's something that's the inner side, but that's not a problem. And then you turn that over. Now these are the dots of where I put my to put the there it is, my needle in to poke it through the other side. Now I've never done this before, so this is my first time trying to do this. So what I did was, you follow Sally's instructions over on her Instagram page, not her Instagram page, I beg your pardon, her YouTube, but I just made 2 extra dots at the end, so it held my doily in, and I just hoped for the best because I didn't actually know what I was doing. As you can see, they're held in quite well, and all I've got to do now, my pages are a little bit different, each one. I actually, it's from the same piece of linen, but I decided I wanted to get more out of the fabric, so I turned it around the other way. So some of the stripes are going that way, and some of the stripes are going vertical. Yep, and then what have we got there? That's just a plain fabric. It's a bit of staining, but that's no problem. And that's horizontal. So that is the width of your pages that you need to have. You don't have to do a cover book, a cover page. I just wanted to do a cover page for mine and add a couple of little doilies. I've never made a book before, so this is my first time. So I'll turn the book over and show you. So that's the other side. You can see my line that I've drawn in the center, and I've tried to, best as I could, get my needle to come through from this side. And you have to do a chenille needle, which is quite sharp and a big eye, and push it really hard. It's quite thick, and then you just push it through and try and get to the dot where you need it to come out. So you come out, you go down through this one, then I came up through here, and then I went back down there, and then I came up here, and then I went down this one, and then I think I went down that one, and then over to here, and then I did it for this side here. It gets a little bit confusing, but you just got to be patient with yourself and hope for the best. That's all I can say. So basically I've still got my lines, and I've just got to heat erase with this friction pen that I've used. You can use a pencil, but it makes it a bit hard for it to come off. So the first stitch that Sally has introduced is the running stitch. So I've chosen a few. This is the DMC cotton that I used. I would use something other than, I wouldn't use just your normal regular cotton because it's quite thin. I'll just grab it. You can go and use these type of cottons. This is not a DNC, but they're quite thick for crochet cottons. That's what this is. It comes in various colors. I've even got some, I'll just get it out of my cupboard. I've even got quite a few different colors here, so that one would be perfect. Actually, I might even get that one out, and I'll just, is that mine? No, that I've got my cord attached to my iPad, so I didn't want it to get in the way. I've got this one here, and I could even use this for blanket stitch all the way round. That's but I'm going to do that at a later date. Whether I use that color, I don't know. So that's my suggestion. I wouldn't use normal cotton. I'd certainly use something quite strong. Right, so I have chosen some colors here to start my running stitch, or I've got a choice of my DMC cottons in my tray. But I think my first choice will be purple or lavender or lilac, whatever color you think it might be. I think that's a bit too dark. I don't want something too dark. That's not quite right. I think this is the best chosen color. I'm going to do a mix of colors each page, and we'll go from there. I'll decide on the day when I want to do my stitching. So what you do is, I'll move those out the way. Now, I seem to have lost my needle. Where did that go? That always happens, doesn't it? I'll have to just choose another one. Where did your needle? Maybe I left it in the middle. I did. There we go. So the first page, this obviously is the middle. The first page for me is going to be this one here. Now, in the instructions that Sally gives you, her stitches are going this way. If you just did it with, if you didn't want to make your book at the beginning, then you would just grab your page, your fabric page, and stitch away. But I've decided I wanted to do my, I wanted to do my book. So I can see that a couple of people are watching. Hello to you. I don't know who you are at this stage because this is my first time I'm doing a live video. I just wanted to try it out and see how I went, because sometimes having to edit and do all that stuff takes a long time to do. And if there is barking in the background, I apologise for that. I have my 3 dogs plus my grand dogs, but I think they're good to go at the moment. I don't even know what the time is. So we are 4:38 in Australia, on the west side of Australia, and it's a Saturday. So we're Saturday. So 2 strands of your floss, whether it be Anchor or DMC. You could even do this if you wanted to. Not that colour, but that thickness. So I'm just pulling mine out. Probably don't have a big knot now. Just gently tease that down and cut it off. So this is all I'm going to be doing for this video, is just like I said, showing you the beginning of my needlebook. I hope you're all excited as I am. I've been speaking to Sally and I'm so excited for her on her new adventure. If I could catch the plane, I would be on it right now. Well, I can catch the plane, it's just circumstances do not allow me at the moment. So I've just done a knot. Sometimes Sally mentioned you could do a quilter's knot, which is where you grab the cotton and you wind it round a couple of times and pull the needle through and it makes a knot. Or I don't know, some people do that knot where they just do it in their fingers straight away with their finger. I have to actually do it the old-fashioned way and do it like that, and then come up and then tie the knot. I can't do it one-handed like some people do. All right, so let's start. Now I have lines, so I could follow my lines of my fabric, so I might just do that. You can stab the running stitch straight down and pull it. Now I'm not too worried how thick my running stitch is going to be. I can't worry about if they're all even or they're uneven, but I generally don't get a very good thickness and I'm quite slow if I just go stab my running stitch up and down, but it's much better if I just come up. Now I do have, like I said, a line to follow, so hopefully I can follow that line and make it straight, but if it doesn't, don't stress over it, it's not the end of the world. So you could just go down, up, down, up, and I can see straight away that my stitches aren't all the same length, and I'm not going to be worried about that. Hello, Boston boy. One of my dogs, granddogs, have come to say hello. You can't put your head on the camera. Oh, now you're going to give me a kiss. That's very nice. Right, so pull that through. Don't pull it so it puckers up. Then if it does do that, just straighten out. And you can see straight away that my line is not straight. Now, I'm not going to do the whole page because we'll be here forever and a day. Now, to try and keep the page sort of taut, I suggest you just hold it with both fingers and you might get a better result, but mind you don't stab yourself in the finger. And that is my cat as well. Must be getting close to dinner time. So that worked out well, and just pull that through straight away. And I've just realized something. No, I'm correct, because my book's full. I thought I was upside down. So that's what it would look like if my book was opened up and closed. Well, not closed, but flat. So now I'm just going to turn my book around and start from this end. I can't go left-handed and go this way. It's impossible to do. I could try it, but it wouldn't be a very good video. So here we go again. Now the thickness between one row and another does depend on how you want to do it. And if you really want to be particular, you could always get your ruler. This is my quilting ruler. Get your friction pen or some other pen that rubs off. I wouldn't suggest a water pen. Excuse me. I wouldn't suggest a water erasable pen because that means you'd have to wet the whole thing and that would be a pain in the neck. So my thinking is a friction pen. Pencil, you'd still see the line of the lead and you'd have to then go and wash it off. I didn't realise that was made in Germany. There you go. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. All right, so I could, if I wanted to, have 1/2 inch between one or the other, or I could just do 1/4. I'm thinking I'm going to do 1/4 of an inch. So I'll draw my line slightly. You can see straight away that the end one is very close to that, but that's fine. Right. I was just checking to see who was on. Sorry, I don't know who you are if you're watching, but thank you for watching anyway. Right, so straight down, and I can't think what this is called straight up. I know it's obviously called running stitch, but when you just keep going up and down, there is a name for it, I'm sure, but my mind has escaped me and I do not know. I don't want to stress over it while I'm doing a live video. So I've got enough on there. I could, oh, it's stuck to my skin. Oh, that's my daughter. I can go all the way. Sorry about that. I'll just turn it off. Turn the sound off. I've got my phone right next to me. There we go. Oh, actually, what did I want to do? Down, and I'll just stay up. Sometimes you don't want to go down and then have to, then the cotton would be going on the other, on the edge of the fabric. Let's turn it round. This is where you've got to be careful because it's a very sharp needle and you don't want to stab yourself. So the best thing to do is pull the end of the fabric like this, just to give yourself a bit of room to then pull it along. Because if you get stabbed by this, you give yourself a good bleed, and it lasts for quite some time. So I'm just pulling that gently, and then what will happen is it will just cross over from the top to there, and if I wanted to pull it, I could just pull it gently and then just give it a bit of a tug just to ease the cotton through the fabric. You don't want it to be like that, and if it does, like I said, you just got to pull it through, pull the fabric, and the cotton will sort of trace back and make it flat. So that's me doing a line. Obviously it's all crinkled up. You just get the iron. I don't know if it's on. I'll just turn it on. I've just got one of the Aliso baby irons in my room here. I've got a quilting room, so usually it stays in there, but I'm thinking I might leave it in here. So that's not too bad. I quite like the line. I'm a bit of a line. I like to keep things a little bit straight, so I might continue on with the line. And I thought I turned that down on silent. No, I didn't. There we go. Right, so just draw another couple of lines. Now, if you wanted to, you could do half an inch, and that's the thickness that it would be if you did half an inch. I quite like the 1/4 inch, so I'm just going to go back now and put in my line of 1/4. I don't know what that squeaky noise is, so it must be something over there on the side of my table. So again, I'm right-handed, so I'll start on this side, and we will travel down first, so it travels the line across. And I find it actually a lot easier that I have the line. I don't have to try and think about, because what happens is when you do a lot of stitching, your muscles get a memory and it just knows where to put it. But the line does help. I'm not going to go all the way along this time. Try and gently pull it. Still a little bit sloppy there, so I'll pull that straight. Just pull that there like that, and then again there. Oh, see the back there, how it crinkles up? All right, I'll get to the end, and you can see what is going to happen in the rest of the page that I've got. I won't do it all on camera. Right, we made it to the end. Now be careful when you pull your threads. You can actually use this thing called a thread magic, which is a bit waxy and it helps to glide your cotton through, and mine has just got its own knot, so I do have to somehow fix that up. Not sure how it got the knot, but I'll have to do that off camera because that's going to be annoying. And if it persists on doing that, then it's going to have some conditioning on the thread. All right, so my iron should be a little bit hot now. Yep, that's hot. And so all you've got to do is run the iron over the lines, and nobody would know except you. While I've got the iron hot, and if you didn't like that at all, just run the iron straight over the top. While I've got the iron, I'm going to run it along the top, run it in there, get rid of the line, just poke it through. Mind you don't touch the iron on your finger, and the dots. Right, and in the center as well. Now you just got to quickly hold it down, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it should have gone maybe under there. That's better. The crochet part of the doily makes it a bit difficult for the dots to come out. There we go. So that is I might tie that on there later. This is my needle book, the beginnings of my lovely slow stitch needle book. I hope you like watching what I was doing today, and thank you very much for watching. I will blanket stitch all the way around the edge, and might put a closure on the front. I might even get some other doilies and stitch over the top. I've got plenty that are a bit scrappy, and I look forward to doing another stitch with you all next time when Sally shows the next one. So that will be page 2. This one here. So basically, like I said, 8 of these fabrics. It doesn't have to be white. It can be calico, muslin, I think you call it in another part of the world. And don't worry about if some of them have a little bit of staining, because you're going to put beautiful stitches on the top, and it just creates a lot of texture. And I just like the fact that it's just usable. Just use what you have in your house. That one's a little bit short. That's a bit strange. Maybe it didn't sit in the thing. Probably let's have a look at that. Why is that a bit funny? I'm not too sure. Maybe it just got cut that little bit shorter. There we go. No, don't know. That's all right. I'm not bothered. So yes, don't stress if something comes up a little bit shorter than the rest. It's what you can create and enjoy. That's what slow stitching is all about. Enjoying what you're doing and creating beautiful work. So I'll leave it there. I want to thank you very much for watching. And if you like the video, just subscribe if you're new. And if you like what you saw today, give me a thumbs up, and please comment in the comment below, because I do like to read what you have to say. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.